Okay, my name is Dumile Taba. I'm here representing NCC, that's Next Curve Creations for a longer wait. We are a classic go find a big problem and find a solution startup. And we are based in a small town about 150 kilometers south of Johannesburg. Frankfurt is a small town and it's an agricultural town. At NCC, we see ourselves as a solution studio whereby we go into industries, identify inefficiencies, and come up with solutions to get rid of those inefficiencies. And to date, our lowest hanging fruit has been the work that we are doing within the informal markets, whereby we have built a business model that allows us to fulfill with zero inventory holding. What unlocks this capability is what are conditions that we uncovered that exist today within informal markets. And we refer to these conditions as predictable buyer persona buying patterns, which unlock what we call the next level of B2B e-commerce, which is fulfillment with zero inventory holding. I'm just briefly going to talk to you about one of our buyer persona. This is Mama's Kitchen. Mama's Kitchen produces a local cuisine which we refer to as a kota or skambane. What a kota is, essentially, if you think of pizza with a base and toppings, or taco, a base and toppings, the principle is the same. It's a kota bread with toppings. This is what we call a kota. Mama's Kitchen is owned by a woman in her mid-40s. This business supports her family. She uses WhatsApp and to communicate, and she's on WhatsApp groups with her colleagues, and she's also on Facebook groups. She is in constant search for low prices on commodities, and she is very much worried about high food prices. And she's sourcing from different suppliers. Mama's Kitchen sources key inputs at different intervals. So she sources bread daily. Fortunately, in South Africa, the bread industry is organized in such a way that it supplies directly to informal markets because nobody really wants stale bread. She also sources potatoes weekly, poultry, the toppings she sources bi-weekly, and every other item that goes into her final product she sources monthly. When she sources, for an example, potatoes, she buys in one transaction to cover the supply for the entire week. These businesses are what that's the big English word, the ubiquitous in South Africa, in that wherever you go, you will find them. If you don't believe me, KFC, an international brand, took a stab in entering into the Kota market. And also we have in South Africa what we refer to as a Kota festival in Soweto. So I don't know if you've ever been into a pizza festival in your life, but definitely we have a Kota festival here, which demonstrates the relevance of this industry. The second buyer persona that we identified is a Tembaleti tuck shop, also owned by a woman in her 40s. The business supports her family. She's also on WhatsApp to communicate, and she's under fierce competition from big retail. And also, she's also in constant search for low prices on commodities and sources from different suppliers. Again, Tembalitu's tuck shop displays these buying patterns. Again, she also sources bread daily. Veggies she sources weekly, maize meal bi-weekly, and any other line item she sources monthly. And every time when she sources an item for a period, she sources in one transaction. Again, these businesses are ubiquitous in South Africa. You find them everywhere. If you don't believe me, has been the media coverage about informal markets in South Africa. The way you see Tiger Brands, one of the biggest manufacturer in Africa, is looking to enter directly into informal markets. In the informal market is estimated to be bigger than ShopRite, one of the biggest retail in the world. And the informal market is growing faster than the likes of ShopRite. This demonstrates the relevance of the informal market. So these are the conditions that we discovered in the informal markets that we are able to leverage to fulfill without holding inventory. Other conditions that exist that allow us to fulfill without holding inventory are the conditions that we uncovered within the manufacturing industry. And this is when you buy directly from the manufacturer, there are what we call minimum order requirements. If you buy above the minimum order requirement, the manufacturer will use their own logistics assets to deliver the goods at a destination of your choice. This means you only need to solve for last mile. So now, having uncovered conditions on the buy side and conditions on the sell side that allows us to leverage these situations to fulfill without holding inventory, the question is, how do we bridge the two worlds? The way we bridge the two worlds is simple. Firstly, you convert the buyer personas into a virtual buying group. But to convert the buyer personas into a virtual buying group is simple. How we have done it is that our clients have downloaded our app where they place orders for key inventory items that they require. Alternatively, our clients send us orders via WhatsApp. You can see there, that's the screenshot of an actual text that we got in a form, that's an order in a form of WhatsApp. So this converts the buyer personas into a virtual buying group that meets the minimum order requirements. Once you meet the minimum order requirement, remember, a manufacturer will bring the goods wherever you are in the world. So what we do then is we have designed what we call dispatch centers. So the sole purpose of a dispatch center really is to facilitate cross-docking. So if you cross-docking, if you think about a harbor or a port, how it operates is that one big mode of transport carrying many containers approaches the harbor, and then once it's at the harbor, the containers are immediately offloaded from a bigger mode of transport into smaller modes of transport, which are trucks for last mile destination. So the harbor is designed not to hold products, however, to facilitate that cross-docking. The principle is the same. We followed a lean model in that the design of the DC, we're using shipping containers. To date, international imports and exports are fulfilled using shipping containers, so that proves its validity. If cross-docking, in pharmaceuticals, if you look into the type of product that they are moving, in that you cannot hold medicine at their warehouse. So pharmaceuticals has been one industry where cross-docking has been implemented successfully. So looking at the design of the DC, really the most expensive asset at the DC is a forklift at 200,000 the last time I checked. So this eliminates the need to invest in bulky, expensive warehouses. As far as last mile, how we fulfill last mile is that we contract local guys who own delivery bakkies. We call them bakkies in South Africa. Or vans, not to be misunderstood with the American van. So these assets are ubiquitous in SA in that you find them everywhere. And we outsource this capability from local guys. So again, the starting point is the virtual buying group with predictable buying patterns that we aggregate their orders and meet the minimum order requirements. Once the minimum order requirement is met, the manufacturer will use their own logistics assets to deliver at the dispatch center. There we do cross-docking. This is the result whereby from here to here without having how to hold inventory. And the result is lower prices on commodities for the communities. So we have just completed a 12-month proof of concept period, and this has been the result of the POC. 47 tons of consumer goods delivered to micro retailers and fast food outlets in this manner. Over 300K in gross merchandise value achieved. And most importantly, that's a 35% cost saving on key inventory items for our clients. And another outcome has been one favorable outcome from the competition watchdog in South Africa against a regional wholesaler which attempted to exclude this model from the market. And had it not been for that inconvenience, the normalized GMV would have been over R1 million. So that's an opportunity cost of 700K for us. For the manufacturer, this means precision manufacturing. Thembaletu's tuck shop being closest to consumer means frequent replenishment. And what it means is that a manufacturer will only manufacture what is necessary. We eliminate overstocking of commodities. I'm already thinking emissions. And as far as the industry-wide impact is that the model will be able to, as it matures, it will be able to generate data. And in this data, fintechs can plug into it to build credit models using what is referred to as alternative data. This pushes financial inclusion. If you are in academia and you're looking to study the informal market, there will be data available. I mentioned precision manufacturing. For smallholder farmers and SMME manufacturers, this means access to markets that they would otherwise previously struggle to get tap into. And then youth. In South Africa, we have a huge problem of youth unemployment. So which means by capacitating informal markets by lowering the cost of doing business, more money for these businesses and their capacity to employ youth is increased. I mentioned that NCC is a solution studio in that we go into industry, identify inefficiencies and come up with ideas to solve for those inefficiencies. And to date, our lowest hanging fruit has been the informal markets, in that our winning aspiration is to become the best in the world as far as moving goods to informal markets is concerned. And we want, at this current moment, we are playing in the informal market. To win in this space is really about us being the most efficient and the most cost-effective business as far as moving goods from source to the townships. To win, we need to be able to leverage these insights that we uncover and the dispatch center, the lean design, and technology to become more efficient as far as moving goods from source to the townships. And to really achieve all of this is all about getting the right people on the bus. And yeah, that's really it's all about. It's all about the people who are passionate about what we want to achieve. So yes, that's our story of how we have really achieved moving goods from manufacturing facilities directly to informal markets with zero inventory holding. And yeah, thank you for listening to our story.